It was just a college reunion. A night of nostalgia, laughter, and old friendships. That's what he kept telling himself. Yet, beneath his usual confidence, a nagging feeling stirred, one he hadn't quite shaken off despite all these years. Because of her.
YN.
The girl who had matched him in every way, a clever comment for a clever remark, challenge for challenge, ambition for ambition. Their rivalry had been the stuff of legend, their names always mentioned in the same breath. Professors had called them the brightest minds of their batch, friends had placed bets on who would best the other in debates and exams, and yet, no one had ever truly seen what lay beneath their endless competition. But Jungkook had, and it had terrified him. He had loved the fire in her, the way she never backed down, how she made him feel alive in a way no one else ever had. But he had never dared to admit it, not to her, not even to himself. Losing to her in a competition was one thing. Losing his heart to her? That was an entirely different kind of defeat he hadn't been ready for. With one last breath, he pushed off the car, adjusting his blazer before stepping inside the restaurant, determined to face whatever awaited him. Across the street, YN stared at herself in the mirror of her car, smoothing out the fabric of her dress. Her fingers trembled slightly as she reached for her earrings. It was ridiculous, really. She wasn't one to get sentimental or anxious about reunions. She had built a successful career, carved a name for herself, and moved forward. So, why did it feel like she was taking a step back in time? Because of him. Jungkook. The name alone sent a shiver down her spine, a name she had tried so hard to tuck away in the depths of her mind. But no matter how much she buried it under work, accomplishments, and fleeting relationships, the past had a way of creeping back in. Their battles in college had been thrilling, pushing her to be better, to think faster, to dream bigger. But in between the sarcastic comments and intellectual fights, there had been stolen glances, unspoken confessions, and a tension none of them had dared to break. Because admitting the truth back then would have meant surrender, and surrender was never an option. She sighed, grabbing her clutch and making her way out the door. Tonight wasn't about the past, she told herself. It was just one night, one evening of reliving memories and moving on. But as she stepped into the dimly lit hall, the clinking of glasses and laughter filling the air, her breath hitched. Because there he was, standing by the bar, looking every bit as devastating as she remembered. And in that moment she knew, this was never just one night. The dimly lit hall buzzed with laughter and the clinking of glasses as former classmates reunited after years of carving their own paths in life. YN stood near the bar, swirling her drink absent-mindedly, her mind wandering back to memories she thought she had buried. The college reunion was meant to be a night of nostalgia, but she hadn't expected her heart to race this way. Because of him. Jungkook. Years had passed, yet the mere thought of him still stirred something deep inside her. Their rivalry had been legendary, filled with heated debates, academic competitions, and a stubbornness that neither of them dared to break. They were both too proud to admit what had been brewing beneath their constant bickering, a longing they had ignored, masked by enmity and ego. Still overthinking everything I see, a familiar voice teased. She turned sharply, eyes meeting Jungkook's. Time had done wonders to him. His once boyish charm had matured into something undeniably captivating, sharp jawline, confident smirk, and those piercing eyes that held the weight of everything left unsaid. Still insufferable, I see. She shot back, her lips quirking up. He chuckled, taking a sip of his drink. Some things never change. Before she could respond, someone clinked their glass, gathering attention. Let's make this reunion more interesting. A dare game, just like old times. Groans and cheers mixed in the air, and soon, people were being dared left and right. YN played along, laughing at absurd challenges, until she heard her name being called. YN and Jungkook. You both have to confess something you never had the courage to say back in college. The air shifted. Eyes turned toward them, the anticipation thick. Hwan felt her pulse quicken. She stole a glance at Jungkook, only to find him already looking at her, expression unreadable. He was the first to speak.
Fine.
I'll go first. The crowd cheered as he set his drink down and took a step closer to her. His voice, usually so steady, had a rare hesitance. Back in college, I wasn't just competing with you because I wanted to win. He exhaled, running a hand through his hair. I liked you, Hwan. A lot. Maybe too much. But I was too damn proud to say it. Gasps echoed around them, but Hwan barely registered them. Her heart pounded, her breath caught in her throat. It's your turn, Jungkook prompted, a small smirk playing at his lips, but she could see the nervousness in his eyes. Taking a shaky breath, she steadied herself. I liked you too, she admitted, voice softer than she intended. But I was too afraid to lose to you, not just in academics, but in emotions too. I thought if I gave in, I'd be the weak one. Silence stretched between them, heavy yet charged. Then, a slow smile spread across Jungkook's face. So, we were both idiots? She let out a breathy laugh.
Yeah.
Pretty much. The crowd erupted into cheers, some whistling, some chanting for a kiss. Jungkook stepped closer, lowering his voice so only she could hear. Do you think we wasted too much time? She met his gaze, and for the first time, let go of the years of stubbornness. Not if we make up for it now. His hand found hers, fingers lacing together like they were always meant to. Then let's not waste another second. And as their lips met in a kiss filled with everything unsaid, the years of longing melted away, leaving only something real that they both deserved, written in the stars long before they even realized it.